All right, Sean.
All right.
Here we go. Daisy asks, "Can I breastfeed my husband?"
Yes. The end. There's
Is
nothing
that a
else to
question?
say.
That's
Is that a
gross.
question?
That's too much.
That's a fact. You can do it.
It's not true or
I think
false.
they're asking like ethically. I think. Grab your bullets, grab your Glocks. It's time for the Chatterbox. All right, just a bit of housekeeping, everybody. Just want to let you guys know that we do have a giveaway going on in the description. Make sure to check out those links for your chance to win a shirt, mug, or sticker from Potentially Perfect. Also, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. We have a fantastic Gang Beast video going up. We did a video with Limited Night. It's going up soon, so make sure to keep posted for that. Today we are doing the Chatterbox with some very special young men. Both of them more handsome than the last. It's ridiculous how good looking these fellows are.
You're saying I'm in the middle?
Sean is very, very handsome.
They're both
Oh my
pretty
God.
handsome.
I'm a solid 7.
Sean, if I weren't married,
You two
just
are going to
cheat
need
on
to
my wife
stop
right
flirting on my podcast.
so Lapo, you can be the reverse to our Oreo. You can be the reverse
my
Oreo
God.
for us.
Please.
You guys are too much. So, Sean, tell us a bit about yourself and why the hell are you here?
My name is Sean, aka Wolf KO Son, and I do video game reviews. I do a lot of like comedic stuff. I do skits. I try to make like an idiot out of myself. I don't really try. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, that sounds like that.
Yeah, it's pretty natural. And I like video games, so we're gonna talk about some video games, make fun of everything. You know, all that fun stuff. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Nice. And you guys know Andrew. He's appeared on our stuff before. Andrew,
Yes.
wants to go and tell him about yourself.
My name's Andrew. I'm married to a lovely lady. I like video games. My channel is all about just playing them and making an ass of myself. I play games very terribly to counteract Jalapo's averageness. You know, we mostly do a lot of streaming, but we've been releasing slowly but surely releasing edited content more and more. So that's what we've got going for us. Yeah.
Dope.
Oh
Down
my
to the
God.
meat and potatoes. So our first subject is games as a service, is the future, because what happened was Xbox Games Pass actually just got expanded to
Yes.
include
Yep.
first party new games.
Boom.
I thought that was a really interesting move on their part. I was not expecting that kind of, I guess, bravery. I don't know.
I
don't know if that's the right word for it.
This is actually news to me because I actually did a little bit of research on the Xbox Game Pass, like literally right before we called, and I did not see that.
Yeah,
little
no, it was
expansion.
actually on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they announced it on Twitter.
I'm gonna take advantage of that.
No, it's really cool. So they're going to have like all the Halo games from now on. Sea of Thieves on the day it comes out, it's going to be on there.
Beautiful.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and Crackdown 3 is going to be on there too. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
Doing like I know they're having like all the Xbox exclusives now. Actually, the day they come out on there.
and if you have
That's
Play
amazing.
Anywhere with your PC, it'll work that way too. So
I didn't know that
Mhm.
part.
oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
went
going to
from
be
half chub
interesting.
to full.
I mean, I'm still half chub from earlier, but that's mostly you, Sean. Don't worry.
Do you want my shirt off? Am I allowed
I
to do that?
Keep the shirt on. Fucking wackadoo.
Wackadoo.
But yeah,
Alright.
so like, what do you? So do you think this is like the future of how we consume games? I mean, Netflix really did change how we consume, movies and television, and
Yeah.
with things like
Yeah.
Hulu and Amazon Prime Video. I'm sure Games Pass
Yeah.
won't be the last thing to venture out, but I don't. I'm a little wary myself because personally, even at $10 a month, I think that's a very solid price point. I think
Absolutely.
that's hard to beat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of me getting my $10 worth out of it. I don't
Yeah.
know
Right.
that I would play enough video games to make that worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
With Netflix, I mean, and Hulu, obviously, I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, everybody watches TV, so even if there are people who don't watch TV every day and have Netflix is still making their money, and things like that,
Right.
and their
Yeah.
audience is still there because there are people who do binge watch. I
Exactly.
binge watch so hard.
All the time.
I'm binge watching right now while we're doing this interview.
Right.
Actually, it's not true.
But my question, like, yeah. So, do you think it can replace the way we game in mass?
Honestly, I believe this is the future of gaming. Microsoft wanted to make this generation like a full on like digital only console anyway. But I honestly believe the paid subscription, that's the way to go for the future.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that like really interests me is like how much money are the big titles getting, you know? Because does that put a hindrance on like the smaller indie companies that are trying to produce games? Like, will they not get as much even though their games will be on there?
Right.
Those are like questions that like I'm kind of weary about, because I mean there was a lot of like indie games that I played last year that I love, but I also freaking adore the fact that Xbox is doing this, because it's like a at home freaking rent game type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry. No, you go. You go.
It just reminds me of like, you know, going to the game store when you were little and just picking out like a game to rent for like a week.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nostalgic, but it like makes a ton of sense too, because like streaming is the future and Xbox jumped on that train real quick.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Games Pass in and of itself, I think it has its pros and it has its cons. One of the pros that a lot of people say that I actually consider a con is the fact that you have to download the games. As someone who used PlayStation Now for quite a bit, I can honestly say that I actually prefer streaming games to downloading them, mainly because games now a lot of days like are so much bigger now, and just having to wait to play a game, it's kind of annoying already as it is in its current state. But what's more is the idea that if we're already juggling space right now on the consoles as it is, so we're gonna have to start deleting and reinstalling and all this shit. But the PlayStation Now, the only problem I really had with that was its price point. I thought $20 was way too much for that.
Right.
And Xbox Game Pass is sitting at such a perfect price, and I think that's great. But honestly, it's just me, like personally, I just don't know that I'd be able to get utility out of it. I don't know that I would play enough to be like, I need to do this every single month.
Well, is it worth the extra $10 a month not to have to download the games? Do you think?
No,
because honestly, I'd rather just pay the $10 flat a month and then be able to download, pick and choose. The problem I have with it, when you're trying to look for a new game just to play when you're bored out of your mind and you're just going through what Xbox has, having to download it and wait hours if you've got a crappy internet connection like I do in Alabama. Having that poor internet connection and having to wait like hours just to play the game kind of defeats the purpose of like the rental service, because you're going there, you want to download it quick, you want to play it quick. But if you have to like invest all that time just to maybe enjoy it, then that's a big risk.
See, and that's funny because you know that just speaks into what I was saying about PlayStation Now. Like, even if I was like, oh wow, this game looks interesting, there was no risk in just being like, oh, let me check it out for like a few minutes. Oh, this is awful. So glad I didn't waste time downloading this. You know,
Shaq Fu.
Which,
but
like I downloaded like Deus Ex Mankind, and I regret doing that because it was free on PlayStation Plus, and like I downloaded it. And I was like, oh, you know, it's like 50 something gigs, and I played it for a little bit, and I was just like, I hate this game. Like, I just couldn't get into it. So I was like, all right, I deleted it. Yeah. But like, and like what you're saying with downloading, like I downloaded Elder Scrolls Online, and it was only like 10 gigs because they had it for like a weekend for free.
Right.
And then after it was over, it downloaded the full game to my PlayStation. It was almost 100 gigs.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, what is
what?
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, what happened?
That's
like
seems excessive.
If it was able to stream, I think it would be a lot better.
Right. Yeah. And the streaming, it actually kind of sort of depends on the game, because like honestly, anything like Twitch responsive, like Call of Duty or anything like that, I probably wouldn't want to stream.
Yeah.
But you know, like just games that doesn't really require a lot of split second decision making, I think that's perfect for streaming. I don't know. I think what would be the best option right now is if like the best thing PlayStation can do right now is cut the price of PlayStation Now
Right.
Like competitively, if they cut the price, maybe to $10, maybe undercut them or something. But
Right.
I mean, there was like literally like a month where PlayStation Now was $10, and I was like, this feels right.
Yeah.
This is
Like if I didn't
remember
even
that.
play like a bunch of games or whatever, I would feel better about this. It's just that it's the download that really gets me about the Xbox. But the games excite me. The new games at launch on Games Pass really excites me. That's a great move on their part.
It is. I'm going to
really
look into
excited
that.
to see how the other companies respond.
Yeah. I'm currently an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, and knowing that I have access to all of the first-party Microsoft titles, that makes me want to keep it, because I was a little on the fence about keeping it before. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
I wish our internet system in our country would catch up to this, because people on the X are gonna start to get like 4K patches for all this shit.
Exactly. It's going to be ridiculous.
It's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be bad.
This reminds me, I need to get an Xbox One X at some point.
Speaking of which, on the same day that was announced, God of War was announced.
Yep.
The date finally.
Did you know that's coming out this? Did you know that that's coming out the same day as the
Labo?
Nintendo Labo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, competition!
That's not even close. Labo's gonna crush it.
I
but
know,
Exactly.
we
Honestly,
all remember being children and loving cardboard boxes. Come on.
Yeah.
Which, real quick, I really hope that like there's somehow a Dark Souls Labo where like a kid has to build like a great sword and has to beat up his parent with it. It's the best thing ever.
Only if it's filmed. Only if
Labo's
it's put
gonna
on
be-
YouTube.
Like
Yeah.
the themed
You know what?
Labos, I'm in my mind. I'm already thinking of the themed Labos, like a Master Sword,
Master
and Highland
Sword.
Shield. Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, if they did the Nintendo Land approach where they grabbed you like a bunch of like regular Nintendo All Stars for the Labos, I'd be all about it. Like,
Yeah.
I am way too old for this sort of setup. I'm gonna do anyway.
All right, moving along. So some interesting stuff has happened lately with the Nintendo Direct that happened. I think it was a few weeks ago now.
Right.
Yeah,
I think about a week.
was it about a week? Oh, I don't
Something
know.
like that.
It feels like it was so long ago.
It feels longer because
Yeah.
it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so we got some announcements of some ports, some Wii U ports, and to a lot of people's dismay, we found out that they were $60.
Yeah.
Full price.
Oh, I did not hear
ports. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was
That's
interesting
absurd.
because the Shadow of the Colossus remake is coming out, and it's going to be $40. And I always thought
I've got it. It's already on the way.
I'm on the same page with that too. I have it pre-ordered also.
Jeez, you
Yeah.
freaking guys.
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a live stream or a video or something. It's gonna happen.
It's
I'm
something.
excited to see all the people reacting to the old ass camera systems. That was some bullshit.
Oh yeah, it was not great.
But they do have new controls you can switch it to. So
I hope so. I don't care. I just want to play it again.
But yeah, so the prices. I always think it's really interesting what Sony does. Sony, I don't know exactly why they do it, but they tend to undercut their remakes because, like, the way I see it, Crash Bandicoot could have easily been a $60 game. They could have done
Right.
that. The value's
They could've.
there. Yeah.
I think that they are more in tuned with price points. Nintendo, you know how they are. They can get away with selling these old games for full price. People are going to buy them anyway.
Right. And but I don't know. I can't say that Sony couldn't get away with it either. It's just something that they do. Shadow of the Colossus could have definitely been a $60 game. It's not. I mean, the hype alone behind it would have been enough. That would make more sense than Donkey Kong being
Donkey Kong
$60.
Tropical Freeze. That's absurd. I'm still going to buy Donkey Kong at some point, but
But I mean, I understand. I'm not here to argue that the ports shouldn't happen. I think the ports are fine in and of themselves. I think that a lot of people did miss out on the Wii U games. I didn't buy either one of those games on my Wii U. I'm still looking at getting Bayonetta. Bayonetta looks kind of cool, but
it's so fun.
Yes, I need to get into that train.
Yeah.
I just never got to it.
But it's the idea that these games are full price, and I don't know why. Like, Bayonetta isn't even a first-party game. Like,
it's not. Well,
it's a second party.
It is in a way now, right?
No.
Yeah,
Nintendo
now
published
Nintendo.
it. It was
it's
second
Nintendo
party.
published.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
However, with Bayonetta 2, they still came out like when I got it. I got Bayonetta 1 and 2 with the same.
Right.
But I think it's the bundle still. I think
Yeah, it's still going to be a bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's what's up then.
And
Yep.
But it's just this justification of this full price point that I really don't understand sometimes.
Yeah.
With Pokken, I was like, because I got Pokken for Christmas.
For the Wii U?
No.
For the Switch.
Yeah, I got Pokken DX. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got this. I'm glad I didn't pay for it though."
Oh yeah,
it's a really fun game,
right.
but I just don't know. I don't know that I would have been able to justify the system
right.
purchase on my own.
Yeah,
there's a lot of games like that for me.
Same thing with Mario Kart. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I did double dip on Mario Kart 8.
Yeah,
I think
it's not like I don't have fun. I think these games are really quality games, but it sends a message.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that's what Nintendo's trying to do. It's that we're so confident behind our product that we're going to charge you full price because we believe that's what it's worth. Exactly. I don't think that Sony doesn't believe that their products are quality, but I think they're thinking. I think it's more of a mass appeal kind of thing because you're definitely going to sell more copies at 40 than you are at 60. But at the end of the day, you might bring in more money with 60 than at 40. That's why you'll see like Xbox will lose like certain months as far as like sales, but they'll win revenue because the Xbox One X is $500 as opposed to the other consoles being around 200 or 300. So it's maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. But I think it's something definitely worth noting, and I think that remakes in and of themselves or remasters, in general, I don't think they usually command a full price point, do they? I don't.
No, they do not. I honestly can't say.
So
especially
like an outlier on that.
Yeah, especially with Shadow of the Colossus. In my perspective, in my point of view, Shadow of the Colossus, great game. Absolutely worth the $40 price point. I can't justify purchasing it for a $60 price point though. It is a PlayStation 2 era game that has been released for the PlayStation 3 and now the PlayStation 4. Like it's not a widespread name. No one really knows too much about it. It's not a big game by any means either. Like people who know about it know that you're just going to fight bosses and that's about it. But whereas like Mario Kart, that's a household name. Everyone knows Mario Kart and they're about it all the time, no matter what.
But now the fact, but it spills over to other things like Doom and Skyrim, both $60 games.
That is absurd.
And you can say that it's the Switch tax until you're blue in the face, the whole cartridge thing. I don't listen.
Yeah,
I understand that's cutting into your price. I understand that. But at a certain point, the game's already built. All right? So if you're porting Doom over, okay, you've already built the game. You've already done R&D. So yes, you need to pay for, the port job and everything like that. But where in that does it spill over to $60? And I have to download the multiplayer? Go fuck yourself. Like
what?
Yeah, the single player comes on the cartridge and you have to download the multiplayer.
That seems stupid.
Yeah,
tell them I think it's.
But it's so that they can get the cheaper cartridges because they come in different sizes. And
they come in different sizes.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I yes, logistically that makes sense at that point. But $60, and I paid it.
Yeah,
I paid it. I love that game. It's a great game.
Paid the shit out of it. Yeah,
but I had to choose between that and Skyrim, and I was like, "Listen, I'm probably gonna do Doom because I can't get sucked into Skyrim."
No, I tried getting sucked into Skyrim. It's not my thing.
Really, I bought it 5 times, and I don't regret any of it. I really.
Are you gonna buy it for the microwave when it comes out?
Probably. I think my biggest thing about this whole thing is timing, and if they do remaster it instead of just like, oh, we're gonna update the graphics and that's it.
Yeah.
Like with Crash felt different. Like there was obviously some big differences in between it, but like the DLC was free,
right?
And there was and it actually felt like a new game. Like it actually felt like a spiritual successor in a sense. Like sure, it was the same levels and everything, but it was so new that I would have spent $60 on it because it was 3 games in one. And I think they're doing it with Medieval too. They're doing a remaster with that. And if they go the same route, if they do $60, I'd still get it because it was a fun game. if they're just like porting it like how they did with The Last of Us, which freaking I love The Last of Us, but like they did PlayStation 3 and then PS4, it's just a port and it was the same price. Like it all comes down to, I think, timing. If it's an older game, I think it has a much higher percentage of getting the $60 than it would for a different port.
I can see that.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know, because anytime Nintendo publishes a game, which is actually what they did for Doom and Skyrim, they were the ones who published it, both of those. So whenever they publish it, it's like $60. Because I can only imagine like the Doom people at id Software, they were probably like, we probably shouldn't sell this shit for $60.
You'd probably get it for like 30 or 40.
40 makes sense. 40, like I would have been like, okay, but I think it's about giving off the impression. At certain points, I can't say this for all the games, but like if you have a multi-plat, you don't want to give off the impression that this is the weaker version, or even though it technically is.
You do have a point there.
You don't want to give it off that, oh, this is just the watered down version, so we're going to sell it to you for $40.
This is the handheld version,
right? You don't want to give off that impression. So that, at least on the multi-plats, I can understand. But as far as Donkey Kong with the Funky Kong mode, get out of here! Come on, really?
Like
you freaking
like you already
baby's first platformer with that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
that's true.
I'm still gonna get it. Come on, Jalapa, you are too.
I can't in good conscience do it. I haven't bought a Donkey Kong game in ever.
So. Neither have I. The last time I have was Donkey Kong 64.
Okay, well, the reason why I say that, I don't count Donkey Konga. I know technically it's a Donkey Kong game, but I don't count it because...
Yeah, because, reasons.
Yeah, I suck compared to you guys then. The last one I bought was Tropical Freeze, and I freaking love that game.
Oh, I would like to play. Isn't that the one that's
Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Dark Souls!
That better not be 60. How much is it? Does that have a price on it yet?
I don't know. Googling it right now.
Please do.
Just watch this Google face.
Googling song.
Google. Googles.
Jeez. And I know that's going to be across all the platforms. So what's interesting, though, about that one, since he's fact-checking right now, I saw some people were like, oh, it's going to be 30 frames per second on the Switch.
What?
That's what it was originally, Dick. Just saying.
Yeah. A lot of people don't notice it anyway.
Okay, how can I buy physical? Just buy the physical copy.
Can you do that now?
You can pre-order it.
Oh, okay.
It's $40.
$40. Whoa!
Because it's multi-platform release.
Insanity.
Remastered. $50.
Oh, that would make sense because it's coming out all at the same time. So maybe
if it had been coming out just for the Switch, probably would have been 60.
My question then becomes, when we get Wolfenstein, what's that price going to be? Oh, I want to play that game so much. Like, I'm literally in that party if I was waiting for it on the Switch, but like, I'm just like, oh, please don't be $60.
Oh, look
because I saw Doom and I was like, it's great. I love the game. It's so visceral. It's fun. It's fast.
$60.
But $60. Come on.
I got a Black Friday. I was freaking lucky as heck.
But yeah, I really hope Wolfenstein's 40.
I'm sure it is. As long as Nintendo's not publishing it, should probably.
I think they are, aren't they? Ooh. Oh no, then maybe they're not. Maybe I think this might be a solo project of theirs.
I'm just not gonna Google. Yeah. Not Google.
Yeah. I'll do it. No,
all right, we gotta wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, make sure to like, comment, and share the video. Andrew, where can we find you?
We are at The Bombardiers. That's youtube.com/C/The Bombardiers. Also on Twitter at The Bombardiers. Whatever.
What about you, Sean? Where can we find you?
You can look WolfKOSon if you have no idea how to spell that. Just type in youtube.com/C/and-we-give-up, one word.
I'll make sure to leave those in the description.
And we give up.
Yeah,
interesting channel name.
Look, I made that name when I was like 2008. Okay,
when I was 2008. As always, stay perfect.